Hi, this is Trina from Heart Centered Truth. And I have been wanting to start putting some videos up on my channel. Wasn't sure what I want to do. And I'll tell you, it's interesting. I have always been a girl who had, not always, but as I got older, grew into who I was. I spoke my truth. I have I have the gift of claircognizance, if you will, and not if you will, I do. And I would have these knowings, file downloads my whole life. And, you know, the reason I'm coming on here today is until yesterday, literally yesterday, so what, today's May 3rd, I don't know the last time that I let my hair down, if you will, and just relaxed and just had a good had a barbecue, had a friend over, called a friend, went anywhere. And I had no idea until basically yesterday. I had a huge epiphany, like a major breakthrough of blocks and chains and basically jail that I have been captive in now for, some years, but for sure the last 2 or 3 years. And, as a collective humanity, of course, we've all, went through hell. And yeah, went through hell. And interesting, no one says anything now, do they? More or less. Nothing. And yet we've all been affected by it. And I had no idea, none whatsoever, how much I had shut down my voice, shut down my truth. I'm a true seeker. I'm a true sayer. I'm an empathetic girl. I'm a smart girl. I'm a gifted girl. I'm a fun girl. And I don't mean fun party, but I used to have fun, and it all went by the wayside a few years back. And I went by the wayside a few years back. And I feel like one thing I can say, I feel like I didn't even realize that I was finally getting to the surface. Like I've been underwater, not breathing, or not belly breathing, that's for damn sure, for a long time now. And I finally just came up. And I'm serious. I literally yesterday, I just had this it was like this hit. I've had knowings and where they happen like a physical, I can feel a physical change. It wasn't my whole, there was a perception shift that, happened in an instant. And the thoughts and the downloads and everything that has followed, it's like, oh my God, I made it back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm better, but Trina made it back. I have been in lockdown. I'm telling you guys, I've been hooked up for the last 3 or 4 years. And I had no idea how much bondage, how much of this was what happened is I could not escape this. I think I finally just had this, I actually did a session last week with someone with Reiki, and she connects to your guides. And I always get the same thing, and I get mad. It's like, well, you have all these psychic gifts. You're powerfully intuitive, and I am those things, but you don't listen. It's like, well, that's because I can't hear them. It's like I'm not just not listening. I don't just say no to things. I just can't hear them, and I would get so frustrated. And I don't. In fact, I'm learning Reiki as we speak, or will be. And I didn't, after the session, I didn't like it. I've worked with a psychic medium before, and I love that. And because those are my loved ones, people, guides coming through. Well, this was yeah, well, you have these 15 messengers. They're trying to talk to you, but you're so up in your head, overthinking everything. And I've done work on this kind of this thought, anxiety, all this crap for years. And then I went off the tracks years back. And then with all that's happened the last 3 or 4 years, it's, oh my gosh, I just have now resurfaced. I'm back. It is amazing how excited I am. Like, none of my circumstances that I was all stressed out about and, have really changed. But it's like, when did I go down for the count? When did I just surrender and everything was catastrophes? Like, I catastrophize. I go right to the worst thing. Like, for example, I have a house I'm turning into an Airbnb. I've been so frozen in fear because I have financial fear. I've never really experienced financial fear before, or financial hardships to the degree that I have. And there's a lot of reasons that happened, but I'm here to say it crippled me. I mean, I have a house sitting over there with, it's furnished. I mean, I needed to paint. And I mean, it's been sitting like that for what, 3 or 4 months. It is unbelievable, you guys. I had no idea. I will tell you, I've been diagnosed with CPTSD. I did go into what they call disassociation. I'm sharing my story. I'm sharing this because I know that there are people, and this was an actual spiritual awakening. This wasn't just a, Trina just had a change in her thought process. No, this basically, I've had this a few times in my life where I didn't have to do anything except, you know what I did? I reached a bottom. I reached a bottom where it's like 24/7. I couldn't shut my mind off. And I know I could go into whys, I could go into tools. I know that stuff, but it didn't matter. It was like no one, and I didn't even mean to be boo-hooing and having a pity party. I've been having a pity party and to unintentional for years. But I was trapped in my mind to the degree that I was just giving up. It was like every single thing. Like, for example, I'll do a little run through with my house right now, the home I live in. Let's see, my plumbing's been giving me grief for like a year. It's kind of like a mystery. But the thing is because I haven't had any money either. So we've tried different things. So I do my dishes by, I have a big pan in the sink. I have to fill it up. I either dump it in my shower, the dishwater, or I dump it outside. And I mean, it's like slowly but surely everything in my home's been breaking. My microwave broke. My dishwasher broke. My oven, I have a gas convection oven, and it's gone down. My refrigerator's horrific. It sucks. It's not doing well. It's on its last leg. My deck's falling apart. And the list goes on. And before, I just took care of business. I was the girl that took care of business. I didn't let this stuff bother me. And I didn't always have the money. Even when I did have the money, did or didn't, I didn't sit here and freeze. I have literally been afraid to go anywhere. I go to work, I come home. I was almost to the point of being agoraphobic. My social anxiety was back. I was afraid to talk. I was afraid to do this again. And I'll pick up the phone. Yeah, this isn't my professional YouTube video. Well, it's what I'm putting up today. But I'm telling you, I'm here to talk to the people who the other thing is 2019, something is the last time I dated. Something happened to me that should not happen to any woman. And it happened. And it was in my own home. And that happened. But see, that was part of my story. Then I went off the rails. The pandemic started. The job I did, I drove a special needs bus. So we stopped driving. And then I went ahead and decided drinking was a good idea. So I went off the rails and I was self-medicating. I couldn't handle or talk about what had happened in my home. I didn't want, I've had trauma like as a younger person. So I've had PTSD my whole life. Then I was diagnosed with CPTSD. I went into what they call disassociation. And these last 4 years, especially then okay, so then I went off the rails. I got a DUI. I'll share how that was amazing, how the whole psychology behind that and how they want to beat you down. And until this person turned 57, I got a few speeding tickets. I never broke the law before in my life. And here I was, a CDL driver driving a special needs bus. Well, not at the time. Never did that. Never drank when I drove, but I was coming back from one state to another, driving back from California, driving back to Portland, and lo and behold, I get pulled over. Sure, that was horrific, and spent a night in jail. So I went through that whole thing, resigned in lieu of termination of my job, and then and the part of that was the pandemic had started, and I'm sorry, but I had questions from the get-go. As soon as they said 2-week level off, I got an intuition hit, a knowing. I actually wrote about it on my empath group, because I'm an empath, on Facebook. And I looked at it a few, I can look at it today. It's one of those that they didn't take down, because it was before they censored everything. Another issue I have, which this will probably be censored or taken down now too, because I said that. Oh well. And to read this post went for days, because I had a knowing and I wrote about it. And it was before any information that we had known had leaked out. And I wrote about it. It opened up a whole platform for people to communicate under this particular group and this post. It went for days, and to read it like even now, but 2.5 years later, I read it, and the comments were so prophetic, you guys. It was mind blowing. Because I just had, my knowing was like, compared to these other prophetic empaths or gifted individuals, I read them. It's like, it would give you chills. And this was right, like 2-week level off, maybe the 3rd week. And so I lived in the city of Portland. So I watched BS go on beyond belief. And anyone who wants to say, well, you voted them in. No, I didn't. And you know what? Even if we did, none of this was okay. Oh yeah, I'm talking about that. And so there was that. I was continuing with that. And I was fighting this battle. And then I had never done politics in my life, ever. I was never a political girl, I came from, my brothers knew about their politics. My parents did, but not me. If I don't care about something, I don't care, simply. But when I care, I care. And I went into tenacious research mode. And what was going on in this city, 141 days of rioting happened. I have videos. If you ever want to see them, I went downtown and looked at that stuff. And it blows me. So we went through all of that, my DUI, what happened in my home, and I shut down. And what I didn't realize, not only did I shut down, it's not, like, I literally have not dated since 2019. Part of me just died. And I've been trying. I've been working with a trauma counselor. I have tried. There's been times I've come out and then gone back, come out, like never fully coming out. I didn't know. I just thought that this was going to be my life, limited to where I would go. I wouldn't make coffee dates with friends, or I'd make a date and then I'd have to cancel because I was too afraid to go anywhere. I was afraid of life. I stopped living. And I have an amazing person in my life, and my biggest gift came to me, and I found out about him on 9/11, and that's all I'm going to say. And he's amazing. And he's my why. But, it was like, you guys, I've been dead basically, and since yesterday. So I'm back, and I'm excited about life. And I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it, but my Heart Center Truth channel, I don't even know where I'm going with it, but I do know that life is amazing. It's beautiful no matter what's going on. And I see some hard things. I'm not even talking about my life. I'm a huge empathetic person with animals, with people, and I just happen to live, in a city where we see a lot of what the results of, homelessness happens, and all kinds of things. But through these last years, I have lost close friends, groups of friends, people who mistook my kindness for weakness, and I stood strong against my best friends who came at me, best friends who came at me. It was like, I never set out to go out against with someone. I will not attack you about anything. I give people the right to make their choices, no matter what it is. The shot, your politics, what you believe in, all of it. I've never been that girl, but when I do have a mind of my own. And when you step in the ring with me and jump on my playground and start to rattle my cage and come at me, I call it coming at me, then guess what? You get me. So what happened is I laid people out, and I laid so many people out that there was so much carnage, and it was heartbreaking because I didn't want it, but I wasn't going to sell myself. I wasn't going to not speak my truth. I wasn't going to sit there and take it. So I would wait until I couldn't, until I was pushed to the point that I knew it was like, it was time to speak my truth to this person or to that person or to this group. And as a result, my life emptied out. And I had to do it with family members about other things. And none of this, not all of this. Okay, I touched on the politics in the shop, but I'm talking about across the board with life. And the trauma of losing basically almost everyone in my life, almost, and then feeling like I did not trust humanity anymore. I didn't trust people. I've always kept people at arm's length, but I definitely kept them at arm's length. But yesterday, I'm telling you, the miracle happened. I had a spiritual awakening, and it's like I've literally been dead and someone revived me, gave me mouth to mouth, and I woke up and now I'm like, oh my gosh, life's amazing. My house still trashed, things that I've been, I just realized yesterday, it's like, they ask yourself, when's the last time you really laughed? When's the last time you felt? We have not felt free. We are bombarded with everything all the time, and none of it's positive. And it's also how you take it in, how you process it, what tools you have. We're all born these beautiful, authentic souls, and we are given to someone to raise, and we have a tool belt, but guess what? It's empty. We're not born. The tools come with life experiences. That's how you fill your tool belt. It depends on what kind of tools you put in there. And those who raise us do the best they can. I have so many things I want to touch on, talk about, share, because my whole life has been basically lived by faith. I will say up front, I'm not religious. I do have my Bible. I do have God. I also have my divine, my spirit guides, my loved ones, all of them. They're with me. And my animals I have my animals here. I just understand animals. I understand people. But I quit. I gave up, and I didn't realize I had been dead. I'd been walking around dead. And I just came back to life yesterday. So I'm welcoming myself back, and I'm introducing myself. My name is Trina. I'm 59 years old. I have lived a lot of life. Most of my life was spent, my biggest career was a flight attendant. I have not done it for years, but it doesn't matter. It was my passion. Being a flight attendant, I have a pilot's license. I love aviation. I'm one of those, you want to call it conspiracy theorist, you can, but every conspiracy I've heard of is not a conspiracy. It's a theory, and they've all come true. and I'm not about to battle about those, but we have lived through hell. And somewhere along the way, I died. And now I'm back and I'm excited. And I'm not back to fight, I'm back to live. And if I have to, have conversations, I'll have those. But I'm back to enjoy life, to love people, to, oh my gosh, there's so many people I haven't talked to forever because I was petrified and dead, literally dead. That's how it feels like. That's the only way I can explain it is I've been dead. Like they kept me, when it's like, they froze me maybe. That's how I feel like. And now I'm back out of a coma. So I'm very excited to share parts of my life, my knowledge, my wisdom, my insight, my psychic gifts, my intuitive gifts. Yes, I have an innate amount of wisdom. I'm sorry, just do this innate wisdom. I have file downloads. There's so much I know and can share, but right now I'm just excited, and I'm actually going to DEQ, and I don't care. I'm excited about that because I'm getting in my car, which, oh my God, that was huge. Scared to get in my car. I was afraid to go outside, you guys. I was afraid and worrying constantly, stuck on my story, stuck in my story, stuck with my story. Oh, there's no changing it. This all happened. And I just got this hit, and it's like, yeah, it happened. A lot of things happen. It's behind you. What are you going to do about it, girl? What are you going to do? I'm going to live, and I'm so damn excited to live. I'm going to share my journey with you. So if you want to join me, and maybe as you get to know me and you have questions, or you want to talk about things, I'm here. I'm open. I'm willing. Much love to you all, and Godspeed.